Hey guys, Will Beach here, back with great trades and the Apple stock. I'm going to be quick. I have a sick 2-year-old, so if he comes in here, that's why. He's just home from preschool. So anyways, I just wanted to touch base on Apple. The last time I gave you guys the scoop on Apple on the hourly, we were back here Friday leading into Monday where we were just consolidating under the 50, and then you had a breakout Monday and then a fade. So again, I said I was going to do this so that I could also teach as well as give recommendations. So a lot of people call this a false breakout, right? Because you get this big candle and then it just fades for the rest of the day. So a better understanding of that is that it's not necessarily a false breakout because obviously it wanted to go up. But when all of our indicators are showing that it doesn't have the capacity yet to keep going via what I call momentum, it has to pull back, right? So it came out from the bottom of these Bollinger Bands and it shot up and it basically tested the top of those Bollinger Bands. Our ADX was still, in the low 20s, high teens, and then our MACD had already been kind of extended coming from underneath the zero line, and then the stochastic, it basically expended the stochastic, getting it above 80, right? So everything was expended in its full reach for the top of that Bollinger, and then all it could do for the rest of the day is fade. But it held a higher low, right? So it faded until it grabbed this 50, and then it popped again pre-market today, and then faded again, and then it's up at the top of the Bollinger Bands again, and I would expect another pullback, but this time I would expect a shallower pullback to the 20, but we still don't have momentum. So these are going to keep happening, but it is still working its way up slightly. I don't, again, trade this setup because there's no indication that it wants to keep going up with the current setup, right? It is pushing up, but it keeps getting rejected because it's just not at its momentous state yet, but it is working towards that. So what you would want to see is that it pushes up or stays there, pulls back, but when it pulls back, it should actually hold a higher, or I should say a smaller moving average, like the 20 or the 15, instead of trying to pull back to the 50, right? The 50 already held. So then when we push up, we want to see the pullback to stay shallower to like a 15 or a 20, and then push up again. Then it would reach what we would call momentum, and then we would look for a slight pullback again. Then we would have our entry, and then we would take it up. So that's what we're looking for. And you could say either way, like, oh, well, you're missing out on, maybe $1 worth of gain or $2 worth of gain. Those $2 mean nothing if this thing were to turn around and just tank on you $2, $3, $4, right? It's eye for an eye. It doesn't really matter. What you want is you want a solid confirmation on trend. Okay, you had it back here, right? Long entry. All of our signals were pushing up hard. Then it consolidated for days, had a little dip, and now it's trying to build back up, and we'll see what happens from there. It did have its long entry exit, meaning that it hit a certain point that it decided was, not going to keep up due to momentum. And these are based on, so the ADX is based on, I'm sorry, the long entry is based on ADX. The exit is based on moving averages. So we get ADX confirmation and long entry, and we get our exit based off of moving average. Okay, so that's that. So I'm going to give you guys a little bonus here. Eyeballing my blue chip stocks. Obviously, the main focus here is Apple, but caught my eye on what I would say is going to be a downtrending Bank of America. So you can see here, this is the hourly chart. We have our strong downtrend that happened in pre-market. We're consolidating. Our ADX is crossed back over, meaning that that initial momentum on this has ended, which was technically a downtrend, even though it didn't really go down. So what we're going to look for, because it was only up in the 30s-ish, is that this pullback occurs, and then it comes back up strong, going to retest our 225. So we're going to look for that. So that's what the hourly shows. We're below zero on momentum. We're below our moving average on stochastic full. We're below zero on MACD, and we have crossed over here. So what we're going to look at is what other confirmations do we have. So the reason why I am comfortable with a short position here is because we had these big pushes on the daily chart, which never entered a momentous state. We are consolidating sideways. You see this peak in the Bollinger Bands? That's consolidation, right? Expansion and contraction. So that's contraction, so that means the next move should happen. And based on all signals here is that we're going to get these crossovers. Momentum has been lowering and lowering. Stochastic has been riding the top wave, and our ADX is starting to curl over. So we're going to at least look to retest the 20 SMA, which is $28, so that's almost a dollar movement, right? If it goes past that, we're going to test 27, low 27s, 27.30, and if we get our full 50 SMA moving average, it's probably going to be at this 26.84 line. So why do I not say this? Because it can't possibly drop right here, right now, today, right? You have to move with it, and the curve moves, right? So day, 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 day. So let's say 3 or 4 days from now, it would be right here. You know, in theory, you got to kind of play out the future and what this curve is going to look like and where it would retest it. You can't just base it off here. If I said right here, that wouldn't make any sense because it's clearly not going to touch that area right now. So we're going to look for a retest in the first the low, right, 28s, mid 27s, and if it keeps going, right there in the high 26s. That's what we're looking at for pullback, and all we're looking for is a Bollinger Band pullback, okay? We did not reach momentum, but this was still moving upwards, which means we don't have downward momentum. What we have is the entry into consolidation. And in order to consolidate, you have to have pullback, right? And it has to zigzag and kind of tighten up. So we're trying to get the first initial pullback in a Bollinger Band move, where it's going to come back and try and retest some of these Bollinger Bands, which I think will be in this range. So I've actually entered a short position in Bank of America for the time being, and that's just kind of a bonus round. Again, there's just not really a move for me in Apple, and I still want to keep the account moving, active. And the good news about Bank of America is that it's cheaper than Apple, so you can get options contracts for 30, 40, 50 bucks, right? Way cheaper than $150, $200 Apple contracts. So that means you can give yourself a little more time, push out the contracts for 2 or 3 weeks, and actually on a daily you can go out a month, you know what I mean, and still have a very decently priced contract. This is not a hold short position for the long term. We're playing 1 week, 2 week, 3 week out just to get this initial pullback into the Bollinger Band somewhere in this level. There is no momentum to the downside on the big scale. It's only on the small scale, right? It's only here that we're seeing this. So this is where we're going to play, and our first initial pullback is going to be right in this low 28 range. There we'll find support, and if that support holds, you know, we want to make sure we exit, take any profit we can take. If it doesn't, we'll look for the next support level, which is going to be, like we already went through, you know, lower 28s, high 27s into possibly high 26s. So I hope this helps, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the videos so we can keep producing them and keep sharing. I'm probably one of the only ones out there that is giving you real trades available right here for free on some major companies, and that's simply because I believe everyone should have the opportunity to make money off the market, and I want to share that. So it helps me if you like these videos. It'll help other people find the videos, and maybe, you know, everyone can start making money together. And I look forward to continuing to give these setups for you guys, these analysis. If you have any recommendations, I have no problem doing recommendations. Drop them in the comments, and I'll try and get to them as fast as possible. I got a cat walking back and forth, sorry about that. And you know, we'll go from there. So keep up the good work. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll probably post something tomorrow. I'll keep an eye out for that. Probably tomorrow. I'll probably still have my son here sick with me tomorrow, but we'll find a way to get some kind of analysis up for you. Thank you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you later.